In the grand story of India's long walk to freedom, some names shine brighter than others. They are like the first stars that appear in the evening sky. One such star is Mangal Pandey. He was not a king or a powerful nobleman. He was a simple soldier, a sepoy in the army of the British East India Company. But his courage was anything but simple. His story is important because he was one of the very first people to stand up and say that British rule was wrong. He lit a spark of defiance that would soon grow into the great fire of the 1857 revolt. Mangal Pandey reminds us that one person's bravery can change the course of history. Mangal Pandey was born in a small village called Nagwa, in the Balia district of what is now Uttar Pradesh. The year was 1827. He grew up in a traditional Brahmin family, where religion and culture were very important. From a young age, he was taught the values of honor, duty, and faith. He was a strong and ambitious young man, with a deep sense of pride in his heritage. Like many young men of his time, he saw joining the army as a good opportunity. It offered a steady job and a chance to prove his worth. In 1849, at the age of 22, he decided to enlist in the East India Company's army. He joined the 34th Bengal Native Infantry Regiment, a part of the British forces. As a sepoy, he was known for being a good soldier. He was disciplined, strong, and followed orders well. His commanders saw him as a reliable man. But inside, Mangal Pandey was more than just a soldier following orders. He was an Indian who saw what was happening to his country. He saw the British becoming more and more powerful. They were not just traders anymore, they were rulers. This change made many sepoys, including Mangal Pandey, feel uneasy. They felt their culture and dignity were not respected by their foreign officers. Life as a sepoy was not easy. Indian soldiers were paid less than their British counterparts. They were often treated with disrespect and seen as inferior. The British officers held all the high positions, and it was nearly impossible for an Indian to get a promotion to a position of real authority. This unfairness created a lot of anger among the sepoys. They were the backbone of the army, fighting and dying for the company, but they were never treated as equals. Mangal Pandey saw this injustice every day. He felt the growing frustration among his friends and fellow soldiers. The air was thick with tension, waiting for a single event to ignite it. The breaking point came in early 1857 with the introduction of a new kind of rifle, the pattern 1853 Enfield rifle. This was a better, more powerful gun, but it came with a terrible problem. To load the rifle, a soldier had to bite off the end of a paper cartridge. A rumor spread like wildfire through the army camps. The sepoys heard that these cartridges were greased with animal fat. Specifically, it was said to be a mixture of cow fat and pig fat. This news was deeply shocking to the Indian soldiers. For Hindu sepoys like Mangal Pandey, the cow is a sacred animal, and they are forbidden from consuming its meat. For the Muslim sepoys, the pig is considered unclean, and they are forbidden from consuming pork. Biting a cartridge greased with these fats was a direct attack on their religious beliefs. It was seen as a deliberate attempt by the British to defile their faith and convert them to Christianity. The sepoys felt that their very souls were in danger. They believed that by using these cartridges, they would become outcasts in their own communities. The anger and fear were immense. The soldiers who had once served the British loyally now felt betrayed. Mangal Pandey, with his strong religious convictions, was deeply disturbed by this news. The British officers did not take these concerns seriously. They denied the rumors or simply told the sepoys to stop complaining. They tried to tell the soldiers that the grease was made from beeswax and vegetable oils, but the trust was already broken. The sepoys did not believe them. When the British tried to force them to use the new cartridges, the soldiers began to refuse. This was an act of open disobedience. The tension in the Barrackpore cantonment, where Mangal Pandey was stationed, became very high. The soldiers whispered amongst themselves, planning what to do next. They felt they had to choose between their duty as soldiers and their duty to their faith. Mangal Pandey could not sit by and watch this happen. He saw the refusal of the cartridges as more than just a religious issue. It was a moment to stand up against the injustice of British rule. He felt a fire burning inside him, a call to action. He believed that it was time for Indians to fight for their honor and their country. He could no longer serve masters who showed such disrespect for the people they ruled. While others hesitated, Mangal Pandey decided that he had to do something. He decided that he would be the one to show his fellow soldiers that they did not have to live in fear. The afternoon of March 29, 1857, was a hot and tense day at the Barrackpore parade ground. Mangal Pandey had made his decision. He dressed in his official uniform, took his loaded musket, and walked onto the parade ground. He was filled with a mix of anger and divine purpose. He began to march back and forth, shouting to his fellow sepoys. He called upon them to rise up against their British officers. "Come out, you blackguards!" he yelled. "Rise up! You have made us bite the cartridges, and you want to make us Christians!" His voice was a roar of rebellion, a call for his brothers to join him and defend their Dharma, their faith. His loud cries attracted the attention of the British officers. Lieutenant Ball, the adjutant of the 34th Bengal Native Infantry, heard the commotion and rode out to investigate. When he saw Mangal Pandey, he ordered the Indian guards to arrest him, but the sepoys did not move. They watched, frozen, as their comrade stood alone against the British officer. Seeing their hesitation, Lieutenant Ball charged towards Mangal Pandey on his horse. Pandey stood his ground, aimed his musket, and fired. The shot missed the lieutenant, but hit his horse, and both fell to the ground in a heap of dust and confusion. What happened next was a chaotic struggle. Ball pulled out his pistol and fired at Pandey, but he missed. Another British officer, Sergeant Major Hewson, joined the fight. Mangal Pandey drew his talwar, a traditional Indian sword, and attacked the two Englishmen. He wounded both of them. Other sepoys from the 34th Regiment gathered, but nobody came forward to help the British officers. Only one man, another sepoy named Sheikh Paltu, tried to restrain Mangal Pandey and protect the officers. The Indian soldiers simply stood and watched, their sympathies clearly with the lone rebel who was fighting for their shared cause. The standoff ended when General Hersey, the commanding officer, arrived at the scene with his sons. He rode directly towards the crowd of sepoys, drew his pistol, and threatened to shoot any man who disobeyed his order to arrest Mangal Pandey. Faced with this direct threat, the soldiers finally began to move. Seeing that he was about to be captured and that his call for a mass revolt had not yet succeeded, Mangal Pandey made a final, desperate move. He turned his musket towards his own chest and pulled the trigger with his toe. He wanted to die a free man rather than be captured. But the wound was not fatal. He collapsed, bleeding, and was taken into custody. Mangal Pandey's trial was swift and certain. The British wanted to make an example of him to crush any further signs of rebellion. He was court-martialed just a week later. During his trial, he refused to name any co-conspirators. He took full responsibility for his actions, showing incredible courage, even when facing death. He was found guilty of mutiny and sentenced to be hanged. The execution was scheduled for April 18th, but the British authorities were nervous. They feared his execution would ignite more protests, so they moved the date forward by 10 days. On April 8, 1857, Mangal Pandey was hanged. The local executioners refused to do it, so 4 soldiers had to be brought from Calcutta to carry out the sentence. The British thought that by executing Mangal Pandey, they would put an end to the unrest. They were wrong. His death had the opposite effect. The story of his brave stand against the British spread like a forest fire from one army cantonment to another. He became a martyr, a hero who had sacrificed his life for his religion and his people. The sepoys who had watched him fall now felt a mix of guilt and inspiration. They had not joined him on that day, but they would not make that mistake again. His execution was the spark that lit the flame. Just over a month later, on May 10, 1857, sepoys in Meerut openly rebelled, marking the beginning of the Great Indian Revolt of 1857. Mangal Pandey's name became a battle cry for the rebels. The British started calling all rebellious sepoys Pandeys in a derogatory way, but for Indians, the name became a badge of honor. Today, his legacy lives on. A park named Shaheed Mangal Pandey Maha Udyan stands at the site where he attacked the British officers in Barrackpore. In 2005, the Indian government issued a postage stamp to honor him. His life story has been told in books and movies, ensuring that new generations learn about his courage. He is remembered not for winning a battle, but for being the first to dare to fight it. In the end, Mangal Pandey is much more than just a historical figure. He is a powerful symbol of courage, self-respect, and the fight for freedom. His story teaches us that it does not matter how powerful your enemy is. What matters is the strength of your beliefs and your willingness to stand up for what is right. He was a simple man who performed an extraordinary act of bravery. He showed India that freedom was a goal worth fighting and dying for. Long after the British left, the spirit of Mangal Pandey continues to inspire millions of Indians. He remains the first soldier, the first martyr, and the first spark of India's freedom struggle.